Math with Mr. Williams, Example 1. Finding and comparing measures of center. The amusement park hires students. For the summer, the students' hourly wages are shown in the table. Find the mean, median, mode of the hourly wages. All right, so since I know I need to find the mean, median, and mode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the median. I want to go ahead and put my numbers in order. So the first number I need to write down would be $8.25 because it's the least. Then another $8.25, then $8.45, then $8.65, then $8.75, then $9.10, then $9.25, and finally $16.50. All right, we have 8 numbers, so what we need to do is find the 2 in the middle, add them up, and divide by 2. Let's get our calculator. So we have 865 plus 875. That'll give us 1740. Now we're going to divide that by 2, making our median $8.70. All right, now let's go ahead and find our mean. So then we just add all the numbers up on top, and then we divide by 8 for our total values. Let's go to our calculator. So we have $8.25 plus another $8.25 plus $8.45 plus $8.65 plus $8.75 plus $9.10 plus $9.25 plus $16.50. All right, so that gives us a grand total of $77.20. And now we need to divide that by 8. Let's go to our calculator again. So we have $77.20 divided by 8, which gives us $9.65 for our mean. And now for the mode. And as we see, only one of those numbers does repeat. It's the 8.25. So our mode will be 8.25. So our mean is $9.65, the median is $8.70, and our mode is $8.25. All right, when we compare all these numbers, we can see that the median is probably the best representation of the data. The mode is less than most of the data. It's at the very beginning, and the mean is greater than most of the data. As you can see, the mean falls at 965, which is way up here. And as we can see, most of this data falls before that. So in this case, the median is the best answer. Math with Mr. Williams, Example 2. Finding a range. 2 reality cooking shows select 12 contestants each. The ages of the contestants are shown in the table. Find the range of the ages for each show. Compare your results. All right, let's go ahead and start with show A. Let's go ahead and look at all the numbers here, and let's find the least value number, and we're going to work our way across to the greatest value. So in show A, the least value would be 19. Then we have 20, another 20. We have a 21, 22, 25, 27, another 27, 29, another 29, 30, and lastly 31. Okay, so now we take the greatest value and subtract the least value. So we take 31 because it is the greatest, and we subtract the least, which would be the 19. 31 minus 19 would be 12. So the spread is 12 years. All right, now for show B. Okay, the least value for show B would be 19, then 20, then 21, 22, another 22, 24, 25, another 25, 27, another 27, 32, and lastly 48. Okay, so we find the greatest value, which is the 48. We have the least value this time of 19. Let's go ahead and subtract those two. So we have 48 minus 19. And that would give us 29 years for the spread for show B. So the range of all the ages for show A is 12 years, and the range of the ages for show B is 29 years. So the ages for show B are more spread out than show A. Math with Mr. Williams. Example 3. Finding the mean absolute deviation. Find and interpret the mean absolute deviation of the data. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is find the mean of the data. So we're going to go ahead and add all these numbers up. So we have 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5. And we would get 24. And then we have how many numbers? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to divide that by 8. And we see our mean is 3. All right. And so we need to know how far these numbers deviate from 3. So basically, how far are they from 3? So if I need to get 1 to the magic number of 3, I would say that is 2 spaces away from 3. Then 2 is 1 space from 3. 2 is 1 space, 1 space. Now the 4 is also 1 space from 3 in the other direction. So we have 1, 1. Now the 5 is 2 spaces away. So now if we add all those up, 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2, we would get 10. So that is the sum of the distances. And now we need to do is divide by the 8 numbers we had. And we can see our mean absolute deviation is 1.25. So the data values differ from the mean by an average of 1.25. So to review, we put our numbers in order from least to greatest. We add them up, get our total. We divide it by the total number of numbers or values. We divide, we have our mean. Now we figure out how far each of the original numbers is from that mean. So we subtract, we get those numbers, we add them up, divide by 8 again, because that was the total number of numbers, and we end up with that mean absolute deviation from it. Math with Mr. Williams. Example 4. Finding a standard deviation. Find the standard deviation of the ages for show A. Use a table to organize your work. Interpret your results. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is find the mean, and it looks like they've already done that for us here. All right, because we know with an X with the line above it means the mean. Now we got to figure out how the original numbers deviate from that number. So in this case, we have 20 minus 25. We would end up with a -5. Then we would have 4. Then here we would end up with a -6, -3, 0, 2, 2, 4, 5, a -5. 21 minus 25 is a -4. 31 minus 25 is going to give us a 6. All right, now we have to square each one of those. So -5 times -5, well, that's just 25. Notice when we square things, everything turns to a positive number. So 4 times 4 is 16. 6 times 6 is 36. 3 times 3 is 9. 0 times 0 is 0. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 5 is 25. Then 25 again. 16, and the last one of 36. Okay, now we need to add all those squares up. Let's break out our calculator. Okay, so we need to add up 25 plus 16 plus 36 plus 9 plus 0 plus 4 plus another 4 plus 16 plus 25 plus another 25 plus 16, and lastly plus 36. And that'll give us 212. So let's go ahead and write that number down. So this is your x minus the regular mean squared, and give us a 212. Now we need to divide that number by 12 because that's our total number of values. So now we have 212 over 12. I like to leave it as a fraction because it's easier to type into a calculator, because the next step is to find the square root of that number. So we would have to find 212 divided by 12, but the square root of that. So let's go ahead and go to our calculator. So we're going to type in 212 divided by 12, and that's going to give us a long decimal, but now we hit the square root button. and we end up with about 4.2 as our standard deviation. Okay, so the standard deviation is about 4.2. This means that the typical age of a contestant on show A differs from the mean by about 4.2 years. To review, first we would find the mean, then we would find the deviation of each value from that by subtraction, then we would square that, try to put it in a table to make it a little easier, then we would find the mean of that number, and then the square root of it to find our standard deviation.